In today's video, I'm gonna cover the topic, what's the best compound or polish to use when you're doing paint correction or polishing. This is especially great for those that are just getting into detailing or getting into polishing or paint correction. Don't worry about any of the brands I'm using. I'll just have everything linked down below. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here in front of me, I have several brands, several products, and this is just like maybe half of other things that we have. So I have a bunch of compounds and polishers from different brands like 3D, Malco, Griot, Oberk, Rupes, like a bunch of brands. Like basically anything you can think of, we have it here. And my conclusion to what's the best polish or the best compound is there is none, right? And I know a lot of people don't like me saying that because they want a definitive answer. Like, hey, I'm about to go purchase something. Which one do I purchase? And the way I'd like to put it is that focus like overall, right? Like big picture thinking, like not tactical, but just like strategy wise, as far as like you becoming a detailer or, you know, getting into paint correction and polishing, is it's more of the skill of the person rather than the tool or product that you're using. Now, yes, having a certain kind of product on a certain kind of paint in a certain kind of condition will yield better results than if you don't have it. Meaning like, if you're just using a polish, but you're trying to do like a heavy paint correction, then yeah, you're probably not gonna get favorable results because the polish in itself isn't aggressive enough to cut through, you know, 80% of the swirls and scratches. But as far as like if you have a compound and if you have a polish, rely more on you on the with the skills that you have. And don't put too much of an emphasis on like, oh, well, you know, in order for me to get those results, I have to get that Rupes, or I have to get that Griot's Garage, or I have to get that Oberk, or I have to get that, you know, Adams Polishes compound. It's like, it's not that. Yes, like, again, like, do we sometimes grab different products in order to achieve specific results? Yes, but I want to say 8 or 9 out of 10 times, we're picking up the same bottle every single time. Again, and it's not that it's the best, it's just what works for us, and we're gonna keep on using that. So a great tip of advice for you, or a great advice for you, is just find what works and keep on doing that. That's literally it. Find what works and keep on doing that. Now, if you, as a hobbyist, enthusiast, you just like to try different things and try different compound polishes, by all means, right? Go and have fun. But if you just want to like hone in on the skill, you don't need dozens of products. And I know it's gonna sound funny, but like if you're going into paint correction, polishing, becoming a detailer, or starting your business, a lot of this is just creative problem solving, right? So you might be thinking, well, if I have more polishes or compounds, I'll have a more diverse selection of tools or things to get the job done. And what I would encourage you to think is, instead of saying, hey, I need all 10 of these things in order to have all the proper tools to get the job done, right? Even if it's on your personal vehicle, think about it more of like the less tools and products you have, the more creative you can be to get the job done, right? So if you just have the cut and polish, right, and you have a compound and you have the correct corresponding pads, right, like a microfiber cutting pad and then a foam polishing pad, it's okay, get the results with that system, right? I'm not saying Oberk specifically, although that's the one that we typically use, but any system that you have is that, okay, if you have the pads, you have the compound and polishes, make it work, right? Like don't by default just say, hey, this didn't work, let me go grab, you know, a different compound, a different pad, a different polish, a different, like, don't do that, because that's kind of like, it's kind of cheating your way out of it. Because again, like, you have to focus more on the skill that you have, not the pad or polish. Because like, let's say, you know, you want to get some heavy correction out of the paint, right? And you're saying, man, this pad or compound isn't working. And it's like, what if you're not putting enough down pressure? What if your arm movement is too slow? What if, like the pad isn't flat on the surface and it's not rotating, so it's not cutting anything? It's like, don't rely just on the pad and polish, right? That's too easy of a scapegoat. Of like, hey, it's not working, let me go grab something else. It's like, if you had me any pair, not even any pair, if you had me any compound from any of like the 20 brands that we have, or a polish from any of the brands that we have, I will get favorable results, because I'm not reliant, assuming you give me the right pad as well, I'm not reliant on the specific product in itself. It's more of like my skill set, right? And doing the proper techniques, and just having good form and technique while you're polishing, making sure the pad is flat on the surface, it's rotating, you're not overheating, you have good arm movements, and you're inspecting your work to make sure you're getting the proper results that you want. Now, I will say though, to make your life easier if you're getting into correction or polishing, start with a paint correction system from a brand, just to simplify everything. meaning like Griot's Garage, they have their, I forgot what it's called, but basically they pair their compound and polish with a corresponding pad. Rupes does this, I believe Oberg does this. A bunch of brands are starting to do this where it's like, it's more of a system that you run. That way it's like, hey, if you're using this compound, use this pad with it. If you have this polish, use this pad with it. So for instance, here on this Griot's Garage Perfecting Cream for refining and enhancing gloss, it tells you back here, use with yellow foam polishing pad. So I would follow a system like that just to like, so you don't have to worry about, okay, do I get the Rupes compound, but do I get the Adams polish, and then do I get the Meguiar's microfiber cutting pad? It's like, just simplify everything and start with one brand that has a system and follow that. I'm not saying it's gonna be the best system. I'm not saying you should stick with that for the next 10 years. I'm just saying just to get started, just to say, okay, here is the system I'm supposed to follow. Here's the compound, here's the pad to it. I'm gonna do that. If I'm not getting the results that I want, it's probably not the product, it's probably not the pad. It's possibly, again, going back to what I say, it's probably the skill level, right? Is the pad flat? Is the pad rotating? Am I putting enough down pressure? Is my arm moving slow enough? Is, you know, it's like you have to kind of just kind of diagnose the different levels that it could be on why you're not getting the results that you want. But it's not gonna be just like, oh, this isn't working, let me go get the Meguiar's now. It's like, it's most likely not gonna be that. So sorry if you didn't like my answer, but just that's the best one that I can give, because I don't really like saying, hey, use this one because this one is the best. Yes, at this time we are using Oberg, but I'm not gonna claim it's the best. It's just what works for us, and we're gonna keep on using it. We have a bunch of other compounds and polishes that we might use in different scenarios, but not so much because it does that much better of a job. It's just maybe like that bottle is filled and the Oberg ones are empty, or, you know, it is easier to get that one versus going to the back of the shop. Things like that. I want to emphasize, like, you can give me any polished compound with the pad or whatever, and it's like, I'm most likely, like 9 out of 10 times, gonna get favorable results because it's more on the skill, the technician, not so much relying on the product itself. Although it does play a part in it, it's more on the technician and their skill level. So I'll wrap the video up right here. You can check the video description box down below, and I'll have links to some of the compounds, pads, polishes that we use. And if you have any comments, you can leave them down in the comment section below. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to everyone on the next one. Bye-bye.